I'm Kool-Aid, and this is Triple D&D. Hello, how are you?
Like always, we are gonna go ahead and roll to see who gets to choose the first time.
Let's get it popping.
Rolling this 20-sided die
Roll it,
and
You got
a 10.
You ain't got nothing, Jean-luc.
10.
You ain't got nothing.
You didn't
know
go
what I'm
under that,
saying?
man. I can feel
You
it.
ain't rolling. You ain't out
Last
here
time
in
I'm
the
gonna win
street.
this time. I can feel it. I can feel it.
You ain't trying to shoot this
Taking my
magic missile.
clothes.
Magic missile. 17.
Oh.
I'll take it.
Man,
17.
magic missile always hits too. It's just there's no roll for that. It
Hit
just
you in
it
your
just
body.
hits.
I'm sorry, dice looks so much worse when you roll them on the ground.
What? Say, man, this is out here. We real
No,
nerds. We in the streets.
Let me
know
tell
what
you,
I'm saying?
it looks far better when you're in an alley, a very small alley between two buildings that are incredibly shaded,
Got it.
right?
Yeah,
like
dude.
it looks far more respectable there.
Fair.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying, dude? Born in the mud, baptized in the gutter. Just
Yeah.
letting you know. That's how we do it. For sure. All right, well, let me go first. My topic today is Venom, the
Oh,
movie.
it happened.
Your boy nerd saw it. Kool-Aid the Nerd King here, sitting here in the middle of the theater watching Venom. It was first awesome because I got to go on some press pass action, you know what I'm saying?
Dope.
So I'm there. They gave out the free merch. Of course, I got a Venom mask.
Nice.
I got a free poster. It was great. No, it was great. Shout out to Alamo Drafthouse yet again for
Yeah.
taking care of the community. Lake Highlands.
They have the best.
Dude,
events
they
out
do
there.
it right. Alamo, we talking to y'all.
Yeah,
we want
they're-
y'all.
They're not
to-
even paying us for this. So
Yeah, we
know.
want y'all to
This is-
start
this is-
paying
we
us.
do
'cause
love
we
Alamo
love y'all,
Drafthouse.
and I'm telling you, we doing it not for the money, but for the money. bro.
Appreciate you
And
continuing
that's
to
the
let
money.
me know.
We love you.
Come in.
Anyway, so it was a good movie.
Okay, like that was I was
So,
going
like-
to be
like,
my
let's-
first
before
question.
we get-
Did
bef-
you like it before
Yeah.
we get into the nitty
Before we
gritty?
get into the nittiest of gritty, it was a good movie.
Okay.
I heard some peons out there talking about it's like Catwoman. First of all, we will never mention that movie anywhere.
I'm not
Okay?
sure.
I when you look it up on IMDb,
Yeah,
you're gonna look under there, and it won't even be in her repertoire of movies.
It's
bro.
rough calling it a movie. Is the problem?
Ooh, Jean-Luc, that's fighting
Like
with Jean-Luc.
it's not bad to comic book movies. That's insulting to movies.
Ooh, indeed. So
It was bad.
Yeah, super bad.
Love Halle Berry. It
Oh
was bad.
man, that shit was garbage. But yeah, right. People were saying people were trying to say that.
Man, and everyone thought Superman versus Batman was the worst DC film. We can just always look back to.
Yeah, dude, definitely be like, what is this? Yeah, it was garbage. But no, Venom was a good movie. What I see happening a lot now in the movie world, superhero movie world, that we could actually say we have now because it's been going on for so long.
I mean,
Yeah,
solid
right?
20, like 18 to
Yo,
like.
like
You
since
look
I
at
was
look at Blade. Yeah, solid 20
Bro.
years of good comic book.
Yeah,
movies.
man. I mean, it's been hidden. So what that does is that creates, I feel like an entitlement for people who aren't even in the nerd community or in the genre to have a critique, if you will, of a film or a piece. Or, well, I didn't think it was this and this, even though you don't read the source material or know what's really going on. I.e., I was sitting next to a guy who was really nice.
Yeah.
But he didn't know who Venom was at all. And his friend
Jeez.
brought him there. He's like, I don't even know. He's like a Spider-Man guy or something, right? And the guy was nice. It was chilling. But I looked at him and I was like, if I were to throw you, it would be justified. You know what I'm saying?
Especially here.
Bro, especially at a press pass event that you have to be somebody's
Jeez.
+1 to get here. And I'm sitting next to this guy. He's like, what does this do? And I'm like, right. But no, he was mad chill.
What was it? Did you at all get his take afterwards?
Yes, actually. He was like, I liked it. He's
Okay.
like, where was Spider-Man though? You know, he's like, and I'm just like, oh my God. It's not
That's
your
what we
fault.
were all asking
Yeah, right?
like a year ago when we heard about it.
It's like, it's not your fault. It's
Yeah.
not your fault. It's not your fault. But yeah, it creates, like I said, it gives people entitlement to be like, hey, I'm going to weigh in on this movie. So I got a lot of critics who were saying the movie didn't rock. And those critics don't understand the movies. They just really don't. And I mean, like I say all the time to everyone who asks, watch a movie for yourself. It doesn't matter what it is. If you slightly have the inkling of wanting to see it, go see it. It's your call. Because if it's trash, that's your money you spend. You can be like, you know what? I personally believe it was trash.
I feel too like with most movie critics, they're looking for something like you're saying they're judging it on like the Academy scale, right?
Yeah,
like,
right.
is this gonna win an Academy Award? Like, I mean, not for cinematography and not for, like, I guess the best writing ever. In grandeur, like, I don't know that I've seen a grander movie than Infinity War.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I personally think it should win something.
Yeah, right.
Like, but it's a comic book movie, and it probably won't.
Okay.
Not to say that stopped everything, but, like,
Exactly.
most of the time, if a comic book movie, like, is acknowledged or gets something, it's, like, for scoring or costuming, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, the costume or the set was great.
Right.
The music was great. But the movie itself just wasn't up to, well...
Right? And the best supporting actor goes to Vision and...
It's...
and you're like, what?
What? It's weird, too, talking to people about, like, who haven't read, like... It's a weird line to have to, like, walk for the studios.
Yeah.
To have to be, like, do we go, like, to help the fans, or do we go to help the people who are just getting in? I remember talking to my brother about Dark Knight Rises, and he did not like it at all. I really enjoyed it because I saw how it took from multiple comic book stories, and I appreciated, like, the blend from a bunch of different, like, storylines. I was like, oh, everything in here is great. He did not like it. And having the history of, like, having the comics I've read really helped inform and made me like some of those movies better. And you're always going to have this weird spot where you have two audiences, like, that you're having to deal with.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So that goes back to the original statement. You see it for yourself, especially if you're a nerd. You have to see it. Like, it's a part of your duties as a nerd and a part of the community. Like, you have to go see it with your own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Anything, be it if you're like, oh, I heard, X-Men on Ice wasn't good. It's like, did you go see X-Men on Ice? Well, I mean, how good can it be? It was riveting.
Yeah.
I was there. Did you see it?
Yeah.
So, so to those critics who aren't in the culture, who are rating these things, you need to read a comic book. Honestly, they went the lethal protector route of storyline for Venom.
Nice.
So that means multiple symbiotes.
Whole life foundation.
You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
life foundation and everything like
Do
that.
they deal with, like, the underground, like, people? At all, like, the
So I'm gonna
society?
try now. Mind you, guys, I know we usually say spoilers, but
right.
I'm not gonna spoil this for you. So
Which I appreciate, because, again, I haven't seen it.
Exactly.
I really want to, but I am a little curious. So I have some questions.
So Jean-Luc, we're gonna do this like some surgery, guys.
Carefully.
We're gonna make sure not to hit any major arteries or veins. I promise you. Okay, so for an introductory into the Venomverse, if you will.
Okay.
They reference a few things. They don't reference a few things.
Okay.
So I'm gonna leave it as that.
Okay.
Because you obviously, if you go back to your first Tobey Maguire Spider-Man run, first installment is this. So you
Good
obviously
movies.
can't drop everything,
First two were good movies.
but you do open up, and you're like, okay, these are the things that are gonna lead into the next movie. So yes,
Interesting.
that's the answer to that question, Jean-Luc.
Okay. I've got second question.
Okay.
Right. Did you feel like it was you were watching, like, a bunch of, like, a handful of actors rather on, like, a bunch of green screens? Like, did you feel it was just too much CGI? Because that was my concern, that I was gonna get in, see it, and I'd be like, well, this is nice, but realistically, this is an animated movie. Like, this is the Who Framed Roger Rabbit comic book movies.
So that is a very valid concern, because that happens with a lot of movies where you're like, oh, we have to have superheroes in this thing,
Yeah.
but we're gonna need the computer to do its job.
Well, and it's just on some levels easier to do that now.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I want to portray this idea. There it is. No, there's not too much CGI.
Okay.
I want to say less CGI than Transformers, because at that point,
Good. Good.
Yeah, because sometimes
I enjoyed the first one, but
yeah, the first one was good, and anything after that
Yeah.
was me watching, like, colored aluminum foil
Yeah.
be rolled in front of me over and over. I was like, okay, cool. I hear sounds.
Yeah, I was
Stuff's
gonna say with
happening.
some machines. That
Yeah. I'm like, okay.
with RoboCop walking.
Yeah. Drop it.
Citizen.
dude. But no, it was about as much CGI as Black Panther.
Okay. Okay.
So
Because I mean, a lot of those shots were
and so
CG.
so it was pretty good. It was pretty good where you weren't like, oh, what's happening?
You weren't taken out of it.
Yeah,
'Cause
you weren't
that's
like,
a big problem
because you're
sometimes
like,
for me.
hey, this is too much, but more like this is necessary.
Mhm.
Because there's some things that happen that you're like,
Well, you have
yeah,
to,
I
right?
need to see, it needs to be this grand because it is a symbiote happening with this. Mind you, if you're looking for your service of the mask being, I guess you say torn off and then put back on, or however the suit likes to
Yeah.
show you the wearer's face,
Attach
which I
itself.
love about the symbiote, personally just love because
Scoops just
yeah,
eats you
right.
up.
It either scoops and eats you up, or the tongue comes out and then turns into your face. Just every time
It's
you're
a
like,
great
"How do you see
visual
my face?"
metaphor for like the connection. and
Exactly.
how
Every
it
time
can
I'm
eat
like,
you.
"Ugh."
Take you over.
Yeah, right. Who's it? How are you gonna do it now? Is he gonna slide up his eyebrows and like come out of his mouth and, it was so. You have your fan service there where you see it and
Okay.
you're like, "Oh, Venom, you're here."
Along the same vein, we'll call this question 2.5.
Mhm.
Was there a physical suit? Or, like, because we discussed this before, we both kind of wanted there to be a physical suit to, like, attach itself. We're like, okay, no, that's clearly physically there, even with the, like, face off or whatnot.
Yes. No. No and
Okay.
yes. No and yes. Not yes and no. No and yes. So you've got your CGI, all right? Of
Mhm.
course. But I feel that it can be done in a way where it's, what's the word I want to use? It's effective
Okay.
and is acceptable.
Okay.
You have to have both because yes, it's effective, but in this instance of an emotion that I'm seeking to attach to this,
Okay.
I need that to convey that this is real to me. Even though I know it's CGI, I
Yeah.
need the energy to convey to me this is what it would be like, and
Yeah.
you have to say that this is what it's going to be like. So there is that. You will definitely be like, okay, because you have to realize that the symbiote gives you juice. You're not gonna, you know what I'm saying? You're
Mhm.
gonna be
Mhm.
bigger. I mean,
Yeah.
he's bigger than Spider-Man. If you've played any Marvel versus Capcom,
Yeah.
okay, you know that Venom towers people. Okay,
And Eddie Brock is bigger, but he's not, I mean,
yeah, but I mean, and it's
he's not
Yes.
the thing size.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
and then let me answer that question. Excuse me, that you're not gonna ask, but you're probably asking in your mind. Obviously, it's a better portrayal than Topher Grace.
well, yo,
all,
oh god.
all day. So
Well,
we
I
don't
mean-
even have to. Don't even ask. Trust me.
Okay, at the very least, though,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah,
this guy at least looks like Eddie Brock.
Exactly. And then I like the way that they give, because growing up, like seeing the animated series, Eddie Brock was just a dick.
Mm-hmm.
He was just a bully, and he was just like raw. And I mean, he was also a journalist as well. But
Yeah.
I got more that he was a frat bro meathead than he was an actual like hard hitting journalist. In this, they give you Eddie Brock is the guy. He's the hard hitting journalist. He's the guy who's gonna ask all the questions that get the interviews cut immediately. He's the guy who gets kicked out because he's like, "Aren't you the guy embezzling funds?" Or, "Hey, Eddie Brock's on the ground right here where people getting killed and stuff." And it's like,
that's an interesting take on it. He's not necessarily a complete asshole
Yeah.
like he was in the comics, but like he is a bothersome character for a
Exactly.
lot of people. And
Exactly.
he's disliked for it.
exactly.
That's
So you
an
get that
interesting
same
adjustment.
energy that he's
Okay.
disliked, but he's disliked for a more understandable reason. Because that was one of my pet peeves with Venom back in the day was, here's Eddie Brock who is like for better. I mean, he's just really being a journalist to get chicks, like what it seemed like. And then
Yeah.
he's like got the Letterman jacket, and he's like, "I'm just tagging off the Spider-Man. Like I could get paid too." And it's like,
You would talk about a character who had like an air of privilege around him, and I think that I mean, you really want to break that down. I think that's a lot of his anger towards Spider-Man and Peter. He didn't get what he thought was his.
yeah, and that's
like,
thank you, Jean. I really didn't want to break it down to such a like political level, but I'm like, you know what? It really is. He was the jock who had the girl who had the thing, and he was like, "Why don't I have this?" And it's like, because Peter Parker really has it, and you don't.
And I will say, like, that is a character archetype that I feel a little more sympathy for when I got older. I'm like, oh, like, I feel sad for him,
Jean-luc,
right?
look
Like,
at you.
man, like,
Jean-luc, I have heart. I has heart.
which is what sometimes I think makes a character like it's a redemption story there in in the Lethal Protector type story. So I mean, you still have, I don't know, I feel like you still, and I like have to create some like that air there without making him a villain beforehand.
Yeah.
So like it's
You get, but I mean, it's like that. The reality of being a journalist is that you are going to push boundaries, not only in society, but in your own relationship. So you can see where the trouble comes because you consistently trying to uncover the truth will always make waves in your life. So I can see the...
especially in, I mean, journalism today.
Yeah. Oh, God,
right? Like,
yeah. We waving everywhere.
You're not going to win at all.
Yeah, at
being
all.
a journalist there.
Exactly. So, yeah, next question.
Here's a big one.
Okay, hit me.
And this is going to be the most have to I think work around spoily.
Okay,
But
let's get it.
do they reference Spider-Man, and do they reference anything to do with a connection with Spider-Man and Brock and or symbiote beforehand? That's why I was like, this is going to be the most...
Yeah,
like,
all right, guys.
I was trying to say it in a way like... Right?
Yo, first of all, Jean-Luc, this surgery is going as planned. Okay? Your hands are very steady.
All the arteries are still intact.
Okay, so let me do my job to breathe correctly here so I don't mess up the cut. They, like I said before, things were referenced. Some things were referenced. I'm not going to say about what.
Okay.
There's certain things were referenced. And certain things were not referenced. As you have to realize that... You have to realize the... What do I want to say here? Like I said, I want to breathe. Breathe. If you realize the pattern of the MCU, it's about fleshing out a story.
Gotcha.
And so, to believe that there was only going to be a one shot of something is foolish, because it's about this money, and if it's about this money, it's always going to be thorough.
Yeah.
Okay? So, there are things that are referenced about certain things, and there's things that are not referenced. Now, what I will say to not be as vague is we all as nerds know that you have to wait until the very end of every movie to get your pieces. So, this is no different. So make sure you don't get your happy ass out of the chair until it is completely over. So we can throw that out there.
And I'm continuing down the same line.
I know, you keep cutting me. Let's go. I'm breathing. I got it. No arteries.
Do they deal with, because there's got to be a connection, right, to the MCU? There's been enough said about that, right? Like how vague. Do they deal with the snap?
Ooh.
Because if you're connected to it, right? How do you because Ant-Man and the Wasp took an interesting turn with being like, stuff happened before, right? So are they doing a similar thing, or let's say, is it clearly after the snap, or is it just not referenced? Unless you really feel like that's given a lot, and you have got to plead the fifth. If you feel like it's given a huge plot point away, feel free to plead the fifth here, man.
Listen.
I'm at this artery. I got to cut around it. If I want this question, I think there's another way to go if I need to, right? I can sew this back up, come from another angle.
Now, a lot of people have asked questions like, where's the Fantastic Four in all of this? Where are the X-Men in all of this? Where are all of these people
off
in
the Fox world? That's where they've been.
Yeah, right. But people ask like, how are they going to tie it?
Which is something we discussed on the second or third episode, I believe. So if you're curious to our thoughts on that, look for it there.
If you're reading the comic, this would be a little symbol in the corner that says reference a previous issue.
Ooh, just look at the bottom.
Look at it. So, to say, let's see. It falls in the same category as that. Where are these people in the mix of that? So, I think that is still open for interpretation. So, that is what I'll be saying.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I believe last question here.
Okay.
Do
Doing
you
well,
see?
doctor.
I believe there'll be a second one. I still haven't seen it. Right? As long as it did decent, it was going to get a second one.
to my previous statement. I
Yeah.
mean, dude, it's
Stay after
about the money. It's gonna spread.
Do you, having seen this, do you foresee, like, do you think it would be possible to see Spider-Man in the next one?
Now, if they're gonna go the lethal protector route, you see a lot less of Spider-Man in Lethal Protector.
Fair.
Like a lot.
Like
less.
he shows up once. And
Like
it's like,
a
oh,
couple
you're a good guy? Oh,
yeah.
okay, my bad.
Yeah, a couple of times he's sprinkled lightly.
Well, if you're gonna be a good guy over here, I
I
still do
don't
kind
have to. I don't have to worry about you. And, you know, so if they're going the Lethal Protector
I do
route,
feel responsible for you still.
like, but it's like I said. I feel like they're building the Venomverse. So that's what I'll say to that.
Okay, I lied. I've got one other question.
All right, man, you just not gonna let me get out of
Okay,
here.
last
huh?
one.
Right?
Last one.
Like,
I swear it's the last
you good.
one.
I'm not dead yet.
I don't need any clarification past this.
You got a couple successful cuts. You can't stop, huh?
Do
All
you
right.
see Woody Harrelson at all
Do I see Woody Harrelson
in the movie? I will cut out. You know, you don't have to consider the credits or post credits. If there's something spoily there, don't let us know. I'm just saying, in the movie, do you see Woody Harrelson at all?
I don't know.
Okay.
I actually don't know. Like, you know how sometimes you'll see on the internet somebody comes back and then they're like, here's a picture and you never knew Ryan Gosling was in, you know, Spider-Man 2 and he's like in the corner like
Fair enough.
next to the Pepsi machine. Like, who knows? Because that could be some stuff they're doing on purpose, and then they show you like he was there the whole time,
Well,
and then something like that. So
he said. I mean, we talked about this earlier, but like he said that like he's really more there for the second movie, assuming.
So
it gets
I
off.
mean,
a lot of people think he might be
and
Carnage.
it was confirmed that he was in it. So wherever he is,
Okay.
I'm probably gonna have to watch it again and be like, oh, there it is,
Fair enough.
because you know obviously they are setting this up, like I said. So obviously the money is here,
Yeah.
and the setting up for the thorough grab of your wallet is happening.
And cuts being what they are, you never know what was filmed. They were like, we don't have time.
Yeah.
You're not going to be in the movie at all. Actually.
Indeed. Or maybe, like I said, it was there the whole time, and who knows, and you have to, like, watch the second one or third one and be like, oh, that was you! Oh, it makes sense!
Interesting.
Indeed.
Well, I think you answered a lot of my questions without spoiling anything for me.
Yeah, dude. I have had a great time during the surgery. I thought the anesthesia would knock me out, but I've been alive here. Okay, so, yeah. Thank you, doctor. Looking at Oh, man. Awesome. Your turn, Jean-luc.
Let's take this another route here. I guess what
Can
I
I
would
get
like
off the
to
table
talk
first?
about.
Can you zip me up or
Yeah,
something?
yeah,
Can I
oh,
get
no, my
stitched
bad.
up? Can I get a stitch step? or
Yep,
something?
there we are.
Thank
Just
you,
a couple,
jeezy.
couple.
Yeah, right.
Staples, there we are.
There you go. Give me some pills.
Now I can breathe. Good stuff. My topic, I wanted to pick your brain today on the thoughts of sequels to games and like their necessity to expand upon the game before it. Do you think that is a necessity for the next game to be good, or can the game simply have the same mechanics, run the same way, and have just a different story or different characters? Like, is that enough for you? I mean, I'm looking hard at right now, like talking about this Assassin's Creed for one. Like it's been a love-hate relationship there. They make some great games, but they water down their own games, I feel like, by making too many.
Yeah,
like,
of course. You take away from the juice.
But like, it doesn't take away from that next game being equally as good technically as the one before it.
But it's like see, that's heavy, because I'm playing Destiny religiously, so it's like, are they even making sequels? Or are these just updates to keep the fan base going?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I expect my relationship with Destiny to be this way. All right, guys, you know, it's getting old. All right, what's the next stuff? You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. But to sequels, one, the game first in itself has to be bang for it to even get the sequel. So I would throw a game that I think was super bang. The Last of Us, Telu, all
Last of Us,
day.
I mean, incredible.
I mean, great game. I mean, tears from the opener, like tears from the opening part of this game.
My favorite game of the generation.
Dude,
Like,
it hits. Yo, and
100%.
it oh man.
And it's only coming out a couple years after Skyrim, so that's hard for me to say because I love Skyrim.
Yo,
but,
Skyrim rocks.
But I think as a complete game and story, like to go through an experience,
Yeah.
I think The Last of Us at the end of the day for me probably takes it for the
Dude.
best game in the last possibly 10 years.
Yeah, it hits. And I play it again. Like,
Yeah.
if you haven't played The Last of Us, get back on it right now.
Yeah.
Go to Grounded and play it from the beginning to the end, and it'll be just as good
Yep.
as when you first picked it up.
It's fantastic. It is a beautiful game.
Oh my god. So, with that being said, they are coming out with a number 2. So, with a game that thorough, jeez, I mean, so thorough, for them to come out with the second game, you expect that because there are unanswered questions in the first one, like a really good story does. It leaves you wanting more, leaves you like, okay, what's going to happen? So they really do have to expand on what they left off of because they left some pretty big questions unanswered, which I think was the perfect way to go into a sequel. So I'm imagining you would still have some of the same game engine. The ability to, the radar where you can listen and look around, the crafting. Still going to probably have the crafting, the shiv. Oh, God, shiv them. Clickers.
If this, the second one comes out, if there is, like, let's say the controls themselves are adjusted enough to make it, modern day smooth, right? I mean, the game's still really smooth. But,
yeah, I was like, what you mean?
I
was like, what you talking about, Joe?
But sometimes you'll still play a game that's even a couple years old, and you're like, oh, I haven't played this in a couple years, and it is a little stiffer than I remember it being. And I can't say that about Last of Us.
I was about to say, you know what? I'm gonna go play The Last of Us, and I'll let you know if it's sticky later.
But will you be happy if it's no extra mechanics, same mechanics, just kind of updated graphics for the generation, which still isn't that much of a jump from where it was, right?
Yeah, no, it was, but see, that goes back to the quality of the game. If the game was good enough, you think about, like, Fallout, right? Oh, New Vegas. So, New Vegas had the VAT system, right? So you're like, you slow-mo, you're choosing the points or whatever. They moved over into Fallout, the Fallout 4, they still had the VAT system, VATS. So it worked. It was some of the same mechanics, but the graphics were better. They added different weapons, they added things like that. So yeah, if the original is solid, you won't really need to do anything to it, but add, hey, here's a new weapon, or here's maybe a new mode to do something in.
And really. I guess maybe the determining factor is how much time between your games. Like, you need to give me time, I guess, because both of these games we're talking about had years in between them.
Yeah,
like their titles.
Indeed,
between Vegas.
But they had the same game mechanic.
And I mean, you would have been disappointed had it not been there. Definitely,
because it was, yet again, going back to what I'm saying, it was really good substance. The first one had a very solid substance. There wasn't a need to overhaul it or change it, really. You're like, okay, cool, let me sprinkle some new stuff here.
And I also am thinking about, okay, here's another one. Dark Knight, what was it? Batman Arkham City, right? Fantastic game. Wonderful game.
Right.
Batman Arkham Origins.
Yeah.
It was arguably as good of a game, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
And that's one of those games that I was having a conversation with a friend of mine, and I was like, he was like, what do you think? He had gotten Origins. We'd both been playing it. I was like, it's good, it's good. It's just, I don't think it's as good. And he was like, he was confused. He didn't agree with me at all. He thought it was just as good. And I was like, my whole point was, there's nothing new. It's the same stuff, the same gadgets, more or less. Okay. The same. I mean, because I had all of these things before, right, and unlocked them by the end of the last game. Now I have to unlock all of the basically same things again, over again, which he made a great point though. He said it's every bit as good as the other one, all of the same game mechanics, the story itself is a good story. There's no reason that it's not as good. And I disagree with him, but he has a solid point there. Like, the only thing that disappointed me about it is it didn't expand on what they had done in the one before.
You didn't have to physically choke him out, did you?
No,
I felt
no.
like he was kind of aggressive.
No.
What you mean? You don't like say, bro?
No, we just
you too close to
we
my
just
face
at the end of the day
while we have this conversation. You know what I'm saying?
we just at the end of the day disagreed on that. I thought Arkham City was a much better game, and I thought Origins was disappointing. And looking at it objectively, I have no reason to feel that way. It is every bit as good, more or less, as the game before it. It's just me. Okay, I've got it. I figured it out.
Come on now,
Talking myself in circles.
I was like talking through it, bro.
I figured it out.
I was
Okay.
like, you okay?
I think the thing that disappointed me about it, right, is that the jump from Arkham Asylum to Arkham City was so great.
Okay,
Like,
there you
it
go.
expanded the world, it expanded the gadgets, it was smoother, you had so many more suits you could choose from, you could go back and play it again, that there having been no jump from Arkham City to Arkham Origins was a huge letdown.
Yeah, there you go.
And it's because of the change between those games.
Jean-Luc has such a big heart. He can't even talk down about something without having a mental breakdown.
No,
I was
you know,
like, are you okay?
that's why I feel that way. But I've talked to several people who felt the same way about the game. Who were like, no, it wasn't that great. It's a good game. It is a good game. It's just at the time it was still kind of closer to the game before it. And when you have situations like in Assassin's Creed and in this one that I just described, where you know you're going to get the same items, but you're going to have to play through the whole goddamn game again to unlock all of them. I know it's a new story, but at least let me earn something different, something new. And where Assassin's Creed could just wait for 3 years and then give you like 4 or 5 new cool things, what they're doing is like, we got a new game every year, so like maybe there's a new item. Or there's an item that is a new item, but the mechanic works exactly like an old item. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. So, no, like, it goes back to, like I said, if you have an original good game, making the sequel, you're saying that I need to expound upon this. Like, I need to go further. Mm-hmm. So, and with that, like I said, like, The Last of Us 2 is going to come out. If the mechanics are the same, yeah, but you know that the sequel's going to have something different. Because there's been time passed, there's things like that that's been going on. And that's just a good story. It's going to be good story writing. I mean, you're going to still have, I'm imagining your shivs, you're imagining your other stuff, your crafting and stuff. But there's definitely going to be new stuff, at least. I mean,
it needs to be new, to be new crafting stuff.
Yeah, new, and then, like, you're still going to have the same enemies, but you're going to need, quote-unquote, new enemies because now you know more about your enemies. You know what I'm saying? You'll have a level enemies.
I want new fight animations.
Definitely, of course.
That is something I think that looking back that the swap between Arkham City and Arkham Origin, like a lot of their fighting and all of those animations were clearly reused.
Yeah.
Like for some of those things, and that's a big pet peeve of mine with the Assassin's Creed.
Because it's a money grab.
Like it's
a money grab. Jean-Luc Hester, he's like, what about the heart? I didn't get this ring for nothing. Well, I'm Captain Planet.
That's just why.
The worst ring. Sorry.
Hey, you don't speak that way about my thing. Okay?
Oh, okay.
He can speak to animals.
So could Dr. Doolittle, but
yeah,
he wasn't out there saving the world.
Yeah, okay, Dr. Doolittle had to pay rent.
Okay, that's fair.
At an establishment.
That's fair. He was a grown man with responsibilities, a family.
Mati was a worldwide philanthropist. Okay, he could do whatever he wanted. You know? But yeah, no, I could totally. The argument would be that it would have, for it to be a good sequel or even be seen as needed, it would have to be new things. You would definitely be old stuff, expound on that with some new stuff, like new cutscenes, like you said, new animations and things like that. If you're not getting that, I don't consider it a sequel. I consider it a one-off. I consider it a DLC, really. Honestly, because if you're not doing something completely... hey, this is the continuation of this for real.
Yeah.
I'm going to reskin and do this and this, which, like I said earlier, talking about Destiny, about people being pissed off about reskins and it being bland because there was a second part where Destiny 2 came out and it really didn't feel like the sequel. It felt like you guys just gave us better graphics. You gave us quote unquote new guns, which were just reskins.
Yep.
And they didn't have anything.
Slight
different.
update.
Yeah, it was a slight update. And so you're like, what is this? If it has to also feel like a sequel. Because a sequel is I'm expounding upon this or I'm giving you background information for something else.
Yeah, I need to I need to continue that story. Let me know
you
what
need
happened.
as a player to continue this story. Like I said, so I mean, let's see, Tilu's a pretty good example. What else could we get?
Okay, I've got it. This is just breaking my mind apart right now.
Right.
I'll let you know. I think that's another reason I didn't like Origins.
Why?
Is because at the end of Arkham City, there was such an end with, spoiler, Joker dies. Joker dies at the end of Arkham City. Like, and it is his...
Oh, you don't play games?
It's his
Get your heart broke.
The wrong place.
You're the wrong place.
It was this beautiful moment where, like, Batman walks out, like, past Commissioner Gordon, like holding his body and places the Joker's body on the hood of the car and just walks away. And that's more or less how the game ends. And it's this just epic moment of like, oh shit. And to want to know where that story goes.
Yeah.
How to continue from there. Like, I think there was, while you knew it was going to be an origin story, you were kind of disappointed because you wanted to know what happened. Like, where the story went from after the Joker. Like, how does Batman deal with losing possibly the person who knows him the best? Like, in some ways.
He lost his boyfriend, really.
I mean
honestly, to a degree, you lost a relationship you have,
Like, Ernie lost his evil... I guess, actually, Bert lost his evil Ernie.
Yeah,
that's
hold
what that is.
Get it correct.
Batman's clearly Bert.
Listen, Jim Henson, if you listen...
Hey, Bert.
Jean-Luc is sorry. He's sorry. He's going through some things right now.
I'm sorry, Bert.
Yes. So Jean-Luc did not like Arkham Origins. So just let me know if you had an inkling.
But for no good reason. I'm discovering it no good reason. I dislike that game for no good reason.
No, dude. No, you don't. It was not up to standard. It wasn't a sequel. It was an update that you could have really did without.
And no, it was an origin story that you could have told a lot of that, in just DLC. I think.
So money grab. Shame on you.
And the next one was great. Arkham Knight, wonderful, great game. Like great new game mechanics. Like they did a great job. They expanded upon what they had. They finally gave you a Batmobile.
Yeah.
It was really well done. I think what I like to answer my initial question, like what it is a company needs to do for a sequel. I think it's dependent upon, one, how good that first game is. If that first game is really that good, like you're saying, then you don't need to change that much about it. Assuming, having had this conversation, assuming that you haven't oversaturated your own market.
Definitely.
Like at that
Assassin's
point,
Creed.
Assassin's Creed. At that point, you have to change a lot. At that point, every sports game out there, like
Madden 2000 to Madden now. It's the same game.
Yeah,
You're running.
I hop in every
running.
3 to 4 years, like to get one for the generation, like to have to play for some time.
No, dude, I don't hate on sports players, sports game players. The thing that bothers me is like, I watch them buy this thing, like my cousins, like they don't play anything else but 2K Madden or 2K basketball.
I don't
and I'm like, I get it. Or like FIFA and all those, and I get it, guys. That's your connection to quote unquote gaming.
Yeah.
And so do that. I'm not hating on however you get it in. But it's like a simulator to me. It's like, okay, we're going to do the same. You don't change the mechanics. Now, the only games that I can see that change and the mechanics are actually different are like Mario games that are their takes on sports, like Mario Strikers or Mario Tennis. For the win, actually, because those are really good games.
Well, I think
if you ever want to play some real sports games, play some Mario.
Well, and talking about sequels, I mean, they are Mario games, and I think the thing that made all of those really great is their mechanics were vastly different.
Yeah, definitely.
Like the way they played.
Definitely.
Still same characters, so there's a lore there or like a connection with the characters you're using.
But you're doing some off the wall stuff.
Yeah,
for real.
Which shout out to Nintendo for the experimental gaming shit they've always done.
Yo, and shout out to
We
them-
don't need realism.
We don't need that. Talking about shout out to we got some cardboard boxes here, man. You got the switch? Go and slide your controller in this cardboard box. Look in it. Now it's a viewfinder.
Yeah.
What's up?
Look at the smallest console ever in that cardboard box.
Yeah, right. We're gonna put this. We got some fishing poles. You having fun with these boxes? We is too. Someone was asking me about that. They were like, "What do you think about that?" I was like, "I like that Nintendo does whatever they want to do, bro. They just do it. They're like, you know what we're gonna do? Think about it, guys. Ready? Cardboard. What have we been doing with it? What have we been doing with it? Tell you what we gonna do with it. We gonna get this money. We gonna get this money.
I'd
Yeah?
say it's ridiculous, but at the same time, we've never done it.
Yeah, right? And dude, and there are people literally buying cardboard box pieces and folding them down and having the time of their life right now. It's like, yo.
I'm waiting for those schematics to get leaked to be like, hey, here are the templates you need just to cut it out of an actual cardboard box.
Yeah, right? And you're like, oh, boom, there we go, fold.
Yep, no.
Talking about done.
That's what I'm in.
We win. Oh, man. Dude, I was thinking, come on, brain. Do it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to wait. I was thinking, wait for it. There
I
it is.
saw the lights go up and almost hit the top.
Almost, I was like,
Not
come on. It was, side note, I don't know how much time we have left. Nerf guns. I don't matter how old I get.
Ooh,
Every time
yeah.
I walk down an aisle and I see a Nerf,
You
or
want to.
dude, I'm like, may I?
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm 31.
No
Cool.
shame. I've never stopped myself if I had the money.
Oh, dude, I literally bought. I'm a big fan of hand cannons. Like all of my favorite heroes of anime.
Yep,
Like,
yep.
one of my biggest ones, Outlaw Star, Gene Starwind has this caster,
Remember
and it
that on
shoots old Tau magic. And just the idea of having this thing in his hand. So anytime Nerf came out with those hand cannon types,
Yup.
so I'm always getting the strong arm, this one, the zombie one, and like I just always think I'm like, I can't stop.
Yep.
I'll go and I'll be like, a new one.
I-
I know it's the same, and it's literally the same gun. I watched them reskin
Yeah,
that
I was
gun
just about to say, there's
as
a new
well.
color,
It's a
there's-
reskin. I'm like, dude, and you got a new story, and I'm like, but
It's
I
no longer
want
the
it.
Sidewinder, it's the 6-shooter.
Yo, right? It's not. It's like no longer the 6-shooter. It's the zombie killer. Because
Yeah.
now we put like a little saw at the end of it. I'm like, ingenious.
Now introducing Nerf's new rattlesnake.
And I'm like, yes, it's the same, but I want it. It's like, so I was throwing it out there. I was wondering if that happened to anybody else. It's like,
Dude, no.
I was at Walmart and I saw that. I was like,
I'll be walking by Target and like I'll be walking by like the toy stuff and like I'll see the Nerf aisle. I'll be like, I mean, I'll walk through it just to see. Like I'll take a detour just to see what's
yo,
up.
dude,
The new skins, I guess.
yo,
Really.
oh, man.
There are people who don't buy Nerf, but I don't think I've ever heard anybody say, I'm over Nerf
Yeah,
now.
no.
Never, ever. I've never heard anyone say that. I hear people saying, yo, let's do Nerf videos. And I'm
Dude,
like, yeah, let's
we
do it.
we had a funny we had big Nerf battle way back when senior year high school with friends of ours in a friend of our's house. Like he hit all the lights. Like everybody got a gun like the weekend before, and we discussed we were gonna do this. And our friend Chaz
Oh my god.
built his own like Nerf gun, but cannon.
Oh, he built
Like
a Nerf cannon.
no, yeah, no, that like
It was
No.
if it had a sight, it would be a sniper.
no, but no, that's the thing. It did. It just didn't actually.
Oh,
It didn't go along the barrel.
Oh, wow.
It was up here, like where the air was compressed. Like so, he would pump it up and it would hold the compressed air until he shot it, and it fired so fast.
It was so painful. That's exactly
Yeah,
what it
no,
sounded
that's
like.
no joke. It like we didn't tell a buddy of ours, another friend of ours at the time.
He was the last one to come in.
Yep. So we snuck it into the house, turned off all the lights, so he came in. He got a weapon. We're all shooting around, and every now and again you hear like a pew pew, right, of people shooting, and then out of nowhere you hear just this. Whoop! What the hell was that? No, what was that?
Turn on the lights.
Turn on the lights. That wasn't a Nerf gun. And he turns off the light to see Chaz holding this big ass cannon just across the room. It was the meanest looking thing I've ever seen.
Nice.
Yeah, it did hurt a lot.
Yo,
Yeah.
that sounds
No,
great.
I don't know that there's anybody, man or woman, that doesn't like that. At the very least, as a kid who played with it, doesn't walk by that and be like, maybe I could.
I'll look at it.
Dude,
Just
I bought some refill Nerf darts just to get me in there.
Just
I was
in
like,
case.
I was like, I still have these, so I'm gonna use these. Dude, I remember back freshman year in college, in the music hall, the band kids were like, "Yo, we're throwing a Nerf battle." I was like, "How?" There's like, we have access to the music hall, so we're talking about the whole music building.
Dope.
And we had floor 1 and 2 to ourselves, I believe. And the lights were off because the janitors obviously closed it off. And we came back, and everyone had glow-in-the-dark stuff on. People had glow-in-the-dark darts. People were like, okay, good, just paint the
Glow-in-the-dark darts, yeah.
Oh, my God, it was nuts. So
I had one of those guns that shot out the flash in a glow-in-the-dark.
Yo,
it was
dude,
great. Just
it was
through the night.
so good. It was like, and that's all it was. It was just people running, and you're here giggling, and you're just seeing, like, glow-in-the-dark darts just...
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, snap. And that's... Shout out to self-checkout Walmart back in the day where you could just take the barcode of something else and just put it on, start it across. Dude, I was doing like, what was it, cassette tape holders at the time. They were like 50 cents. I was like, but I need these Nerf guns. I'm not going to pay that. You know what? Here you go. I get 2 Nerf guns for $1. I was like,
scamming the system early.
Kool-Aid.
Did you get caught doing that?
No. I mean, my homeboy, I remember... We're getting a whole bunch of stuff. I remember one guy, and the reason why we knew about it because there was this one kid. He was already super rich. It didn't matter. He was super rich, but he was just super bored, you know? And so he was like, he was a klepto. He was like, I'm going to steal everything. You don't have to. You could buy this whole thing. If your parents are that, you're that privileged. You're that entitled. You can have it all. He's like, no. Just to rebel against it, you know. I want to steal. I was like, dude, you don't have to steal. Like, people actually have to steal to live. Like, you don't have to, but okay. And dude, he was like, watch this. And he went into Walmart and came out with a TV.
Jesus.
An actual, because at one point in time, you could walk into the back and grab a TV and they're in the boxes, right?
Yo.
And then like, okay, no one, self-checkout was fresh. Nobody was like, okay, cool. No one thinks, you know, as you're introducing new things. Anyway, so he literally scans this TV and I'm guessing no one's looking at him or anything. He pays. He gets a receipt. He puts it in the bag. They see him paying everything. He walks out, and I'm like,
I'm mad they didn't check his receipt.
dude. Of course they're not gonna check his receipt.
Well, you've got to.
Walmart closest to me checks receipts all the time.
No,
this was what a decade ago, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
And but then
They weren't everywhere then.
I mean, this was like less than a decade ago. But then this is. I mean, also he had the complexion for protection, if you will.
Oh.
So, and he really looked like he had the complexion. Like, he had the full-on garb. Like, you're not going to ask Chad where Chad's.
I know you're not wearing a polo, but I see one.
No, seriously. And so, like, he literally had that look like you're not going to fuck with him. Like, my dad, don't make me call my dad is the look that he had. Really. Real talk.
Because he might be a lawyer.
No, real talk. And so no one's going to say you're just here, you open up your billfold, you put it in, you walk out. No one's going to say anything. And they didn't. And it was because of Homeboy. He was like, yeah, you can just go in and get whatever you want, man. That's how you're supposed to do it.
I had a friend of mine who was very much the same way.
And I was just like, okay, cool. So I went in and got 2 Nerf guns. Okay, guys, you can say what you want. I didn't go get a TV, which I'm really sad I didn't.
Right?
I was like, dude was bold. But he was cool because he could pay to get himself out of jail if he ever went. Because he probably would never go.
Well, it's because he saved a bunch of money on groceries.
So, yeah, dude, we got those double guns, and then I was like, yeah, I can be a part of this too now. It was nuts.
I did not know how many people were stealing. This has become about Walmart, but I did not know how many people were stealing from Walmart until or how easy it was until I got to college. And
everybody steals from Walmart. You know what? Honestly, fuck Walmart because fuck them because they just treat people like whatever.
It's a big corporation.
Yeah, fuck them. But I mean, it's it's capitalism, so I have to see it. It's not like I have the power to push you out because you're way more powerful than I am. So yeah, I'm gonna steal from you.
I just remember.
Yeah,
we would carpool. Like when I was in college, we'd carpool together to the Walmart, and several people would get groceries all at the same time. And we never see this guy get anything. He wouldn't get like a cart or anything, and then we'd be in the car, and then he'd just reach into his pocket and pull out a magazine and a couple candy bars and reach down into his pants and slide out an apple or two in a bag and he'd never paid for anything when he went to Walmart. And he refused to. He said, "Why would I?" The door, because they didn't check receipts in that one.
Yeah.
He was like, "Why would I?" You can go in, pick it up, and walk out. I don't need money for that.
I could just grab it with my hand.
In fact, they don't even put the registers in front of the doors.
Yeah.
It's to the side of the doors.
Oh, wow.
Right next to the food. Damn. Yeah. And I'm not saying
Look
you
at
should.
Jean-Luc.
I'm not saying you should go out there and
listen to
steal
this,
from
Walmart. Don't
Walmart.
listen to this. We need to keep stealing from your giant ass.
You want to go ahead and put out the disclaimer that all of these recordings are for entertainment purposes.
Yeah,
and-
this may or may not have happened.
yeah.
There you go.
Everything.
Yeah, everything that we talk about may or may not right now have happened. So you can't prove nothing. I proven everything, dude. Yo, but no, definitely. Nerf. I brought that up.
Yeah, no, to answer your question, absolutely.
Yes, Nerf. It's what's for dinner.
I had a friend when we were younger. We would take the darts, and we were very fucking stupid. So that's
The intro.
Just say
Okay.
that. But
Start with that.
we would take tacks and other sharp
Yo.
objects and play a few rounds every now and again. That were
See, and there you go, humans.
No.
And this is why no one visits Earth.
I would have been
saying?
way too fragile.
You
for
know
that,
what
man.
I'm saying? Earth is the hood of the galaxy.
I got hit in the
There
eye
you
with
go.
one of those darts at
There
one point.
you go.
And I wear glasses.
Well,
That's
Ian,
us there.
let you know you're not invited to any of our Nerf battles. You monster.
I've got the darts with tacks. I'm not asking.
He's like, yo, you want to come? Nah, bro, I can't play. I don't play games. Okay.
You get there, you're all disappointed. Oh, where are the tacks?
Right?
Oh, okay. Well,
y'all playing games.
well, it's okay because I brought enough tacks for me.
Oh man.
Didn't last long.
Yeah, man.
Wish we had thought of that back then. We'd
Nah,
have put
dude.
tacks on them in the dark and not told Travis.
Nah, that's mean.
Oh my god.
That's
He
mean.
didn't need to go.
Yeah,
to
it would have been.
hospital.
Yes, it was mean, but we were a lot meaner then. So.
Yeah, I was about to say, what's up with people and kids? Anyway, that's for a whole nother
It's
episode.
okay if they're your
Why?
friends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
we'll
we
talk
all-
about
okay if
on the
they're
next
your
episode
friends.
of Triple D&D. Why are you so violent? The Jean-Luc story.
Who would have guessed?
So docile, so indigent, but also violent. Oh, for real? Nice. Oh man, what's
Well,
the timeline? What we looking at?
I mean,
You
we
were-
got about 4 minutes.
We got 4 minutes left. Let's
Yo,
see here.
Let me. You
got 4 minutes left. or something?
I've got something, and it's
Go ahead,
something
throw it, go
something
ahead,
I'll
throw
go into later, like more about. I'll give tips and tricks. I know it's a lot late to be thrown it in, but
Go
I just
ahead.
Friday the 13th. And this
Happy
is-
Halloween! It is October.
Yeah, we're getting there. I'll talk more about it maybe next time. Maybe it'll be my topic. But real quickly, there's been a little development there. The original creator, who had the whole lawsuit that stopped the game from continuing to make content, that lawsuit has settled. He won. He won the rights, which is good because original creator deserve the rights to their product. Now, for everybody out there being like, oh, sweet, now that means Gun Media is going to get back to making more content. Stop it.
Yeah, it's
They're
gonna
not.
happen.
It's over. Let it go. The game is as it is. You're not getting any more. There is not going to be any
I was
more.
just happy about that.
There is no reason. I know. I know.
John
But
was spit in my face.
I'm trying to rip this Band-Aid off for everybody. Because for the last couple of months, I've seen every week or two, there's another video of what does it mean for nothing? It means nothing, guys. It's over. There's nothing more. I'm not saying don't play the game. I'm not saying if you haven't played it, don't pick it up. It's a great game. You might be able to get it on sale now. Fantastic. I'm saying Gun Media doesn't want to. They have moved on. They are working on something else, and it makes no sense for them to put that on hold to move back to a game that they've already made money off of. A lot of money off of, right? They're not going to. Will there be some new contract for a new Friday the 13th game with the old boy? Original creator? Maybe. That might totally be in the works, but it's going to be a while, and you'll hear about it there. I don't think there's going to be any more content. Don't expect for any of the things that you thought was going to come out earlier to come out. It's not going to. The Grendel map isn't coming. Jason X is not coming. All of those things would make no sense for. If they have it and they're doing anything with it, they're going to put it in the next game that you will have to pay full price for. There will be no extras.
Damn, Jean-Luc.
See,
And I feel like that was more like Jean-Luc talking to Jean-Luc in the chair. Jean-Luc
No,
talking to
I'm
his
sick of
heart.
these videos.
He's like talking to his inner child. Look, man, I know you want this.
No,
but it's
there
not
are
gonna-
people with channels that are completely
Dedicated.
named after and devoted to Friday the 13th, and those are the people that Those are the
wow.
ones putting all
Damn.
the. Maybe
Well,
there's
I take that
something
back.
new.
Jean-Luc is trying to spit that real to y'all, bro. Get off the pot.
And
That's
you know what? If that's what you're doing, you want to make it about Friday the 13th, great, do that. But don't, like, it's not coming. Don't try to tell people or suggest it might still be possible. It's not going to happen.
I mean, that could be just a marketing ploy so they can continue to be valid, because after a while, you're going to run out of juice.
I mean, that's also possible, right? Like, this has been released. Hey, it looks like maybe stuff might come, so maybe, buy a couple more games, people, right? Show interest that there's still a community, and no.
I mean, you
But
talking
it's
about
still
whole
not gonna
channels
happen.
built to this. You kind of need this to keep going on.
Well, and they do,
I
like-
can imagine them.
but-
I'm like, that's probably a good idea.
And that's why I'm sitting here saying, but, like, there
But John
won't-
Lucas telling you to stop.
They said
He's
that
over
they
it.
said there won't be any more content, and it just doesn't make sense for them to make more content about it. Like for this game, if they make new content, that guy is probably gonna want money off of the new game, not the old game.
Oh yeah, you're right.
No, it's gonna need to be a completely new contract. Nope, it's not gonna happen.
Dang, Jean-Luc
It's not
coming
gonna
for
happen.
all them channels, bro, shutting them down.
And if I were
Jean-Luc
wrong,
Jean-Luc the landlord, fam. This money ain't enough.
if I were wrong,
rents,
I
the
would be
rents.
so happy.
You must have the rent. Oh man, that's
So,
G.
I hope.
Y'all should see his face right now.
That
He's
4
so-
minutes. I'm being so earnest. I'm being
he's
so
just-
earnest
he's
right
like
now.
straight from his heart.
Like I love that game to death. I crush at that game, and I don't say that lightly.
Mm.
But new content will only come in the form of a new game. So until you hear about that, be happy with what you have. It's a fantastic game for I think full price, $40. Right? I was surprised to see there's still a community rolling for it. Like, I 100% say get it, but don't expect anything more. And if you like the game and you're like, I wonder what else is happening. Nothing. Nothing else is happening until Gun Media and the guy who originally made it, God help me, I don't know his name, until they tell you. When you hear it from one of them, you know. Godspeed.
Well,
Dang. All right, well, I'm going to button my shirt up and tuck it in. I guess I want to look professional out here in the street.
Comes from a place of love.
I want you to look on my neck. Protect your neck, nerds. Protect your neck.
And your time. Your time is precious. You could be using that playing something else.
Destiny. Play
Like,
Destiny.
or
not
just...
watching that 17-minute video.
or just playing the game.
Ooh. Dang.
There it is.
Jean-Luc spit in your face.
Gonna
and
leave you
will
gonna
like
leave
it.
you with that.
That's what's up. All right, then. Well, as always, we about to go knife fight in the parking lot and shoot dice between, odd-looking buildings in the alleyway.
Yep. I got the dice. Anyone need an extra knife?
You know what I'm saying? We keep these knives made out of plastic. We'll talk about that later.
Yep.
Three plenty weapons.
It's
We
easy.
doing
It's
stuff.
easy. You don't have to wash them afterwards. You just throw those plastic knives away.
Give it to them.
A lot of people don't think they're good for shanking, but if you come in at the right angle,
You're talking about I roll a natural 20. That means I hit you
Yep.
more than once.
I don't care what you're wearing or how thick that hoodie is.
Critical stab.
No, don't do violence though.
Yeah, no violence. We're like totally against violence.
Or
Shit.
gambling.
Someone's
or gambling.
Well, depending on what state you're in, you can gamble.
You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I've gone to Chuck E. Cheese. I've gone to, what is it, Come On Down to Mechanical Rat and Child Casino. You know what I'm saying?
Unless you're gambling with violence, which if you get too close to the mechanical rat, you are.
Ooh. Come on down to Mechanical Rat Casino and Child Casino.
Child casino. That is what they are.
Mechanical Rat Pizza and Child Casino.
Man, we started this early. We're ending this thing late
Yeah,
in
man.
the evening.
This is my job.
Who out here doesn't? You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about?
Eddie Brock.
Viewers.
Look at us. Better get your. My dad's gonna come up here. Oh snap!
They were supposed to take my pictures, not yours. My name's Eddie, and I'm upset.
What do you mean, James?
What do you mean Parker already got you pictures of Spider-Man? I'm upset.
But I gotta get.
Shut up.
50,000 on my head is disrespect.
Yo, I gotta go.
All right, goodbye, everyone.
Yo, Jean-Luc.